patron, take them away.
Okay guys, hope you're well. We're going to update the share account, sort of see where we're up to and whether it's making money or not. Well, this week, let's just say it at its moments. But I opened up a multitude of positions yesterday, which will naturally go into drawdown because of spreads, etc. But overall, so let's flick the screens over and I'll kind of show you what it is, show you the spreadsheet filling in and why I'm doing it. And I'll also, before I show you that, I'll show you the inspiration behind it as well. So let's have a little look. Okay, so if I flick this on, and I flick it over onto the 5%ers. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I am Scruff, and I trade for a living. It's my sole income. And my living is split in two. I do a little bit of prop, and I mainly trade my own sort of funds. I personally prefer my own funds because then it's me. When you're trading prop, it's almost like a job. And I think most of us want to come into trading for financial freedom, but mainly freedom, because I'll touch on this in another video about emotional context. When you're trading, a lot of the time the desire to trade outweighs the reason. And I think that's a good subject on its own, so we'll go into that. Now, with the 5%ers, if you're interested, there is a link in the description below. And they have been kind enough to give me a 5% discount for you guys. There's many ways you can do it. You can go on the boot camp, you can go instant, or you can go day trading stocks. Now, it's the stocks that captured my imagination. Now, of these, obviously you got your boot camp. What that is, it's 3 challenges over 12 months. You buy in for a small fee of €95. And then at the end of it, if you pass your evaluation, you pay a very small figure and you are given a huge account. And they are huge. You know, you're talking a minimum of 100K. And I'll just show you this. There you go. 95 in. And if you do that, you pass your challenges, etc., they will start you off with 100,000. Now, you can go a little bit higher. You might sort of trust your instincts a bit more, but you don't quite have enough money to sort of fund it yourself. You can go into this, which is €225 for a 250K account. And again, that's your starting. And away you go with a fantastic profit split from level 2. So there, get 75-25. So that is a good way to go if you've got small money. Now, if you're already ahead of the curve and you know what you're doing, you can go straight into instant funding and you're live from day one. That's the route I took. But it got me thinking, what if you have only sort of €100? Well, at the end of it, you still only have €100, because with this, you don't get anything till you get into the passing point. So is there another way around it? Well, the guys have brought this in, which is stocks. And basically it's one of the only prop firms that allow stock trading rather than Forex trading under a prop umbrella. You can go into this with a free trial, 14 days. See if you like it in one thing and another. But there's always a stumbling block, and that stumbling block is money. Some people have very little money. And when you fail in sort of business, it's normally because you're undercapitalized. That's where prop firms come in, because they will give you the capital for a small investment. But sometimes your small investment is even smaller than buying in. And that's why I've embarked on this journey of trading shares. Now, let me just flick this on. So when we look at this, this is one of the shares that I've got running. It's currently £14.20p in profit. And it's up to locked in profits because I don't like to give more than half of my profits away. So once I'm in, I'll follow the price up. And as you can see, that's what this green barrier here is. It's got 738 locked in. Well, what does that mean? Well, what it means is I entered this for next to nothing. Let me show you. Now, I might have to move my head down a little bit. Give me a second. There we go. It's the weekend, so this might actually change. The margin for a pound is 36 at this moment in time. Okay, that's for £1. Now, I carve off all the time because every time it gets to a little milestone, I take a little bit of the trade off and move the stop. Okay. Now, in the last videos that I did, some of these, let's just take a look at some of these because some of these are a little bit naughty at the minute. But that's a pound and it's only 15 quid. 15 quid. So you could get into that for £15 and then manage it. All right, it takes time, but that's what we've got on our side. Time. So yesterday we had a bit of a rough day. You know, we were down. But overall, we've got a sea of red here. But our net positive is 538. Now, I started this with very little money, and I'm going to show you that. But look at all of the positions that's open. That's what's open. And then I've got all of this lot as orders ready to open, all from the same pot. So how big was that pot? Well, let's have a little look, shall we? Because I'm going to update it now. So there is the spreadsheet. Let me just open up my broker on another screen so I'm not flicking backwards and forwards. Okay. So this was up until yesterday. So I'm not interested in the closed. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut all of that off and fill this in fresh. And then we'll be able to see exactly where we're up to on this account. And then I'll explain why I'm doing this. So it'll just take me a second to knock this together. So first one is N Brown Group, which is here. That's currently 258 in profit. The next one is Sport Tech. That's 23p in profit. Then we have On the Beach. That's 14.20 in profit. Then we have Predator Oil. Minus 89. Games Realm is minus 14. Angus has 3 positions open. So that's the first one, which is minus 5p. Because I do stage backwards as well, guys. Minus 4.2. And minus 4.5. Okay, Speedy Hire is minus 9 pence. Dolphin is minus 11 pence. Arc is minus 8p. Oriole is minus 1p. Pod Point is minus, well, this is not a good one actually, which is 614. And then Spectra minus 405. Okay. So what we are seeing here, see there was a number opened up yesterday. It's the 17th today. I expect those to go underwater for a couple of days just to cover spreads, etc. So what does this picture paint for us at this moment in time? Well, I started this with 118 quid. I just shaved off to the nearest 500 off my main account. I thought, well, that'll do. We'll start that. But why shares? Because shares are very cheap. You can get into these. I did a video, I think it was last week, under 20 quid. So you can put 20 quid into a broker, buy a couple of shares and see if you can grow that 20 quid into 21. Then the next week you might be able to make 22. And they will scoff, and there's plenty of people have scoffed about this. But tell me a bank in the land that will give you £1 off 20. There isn't. And it's where the RR I subscribe to comes into it. See, I don't believe in risk reward. I genuinely don't. Every trade is individual. Stop has to be where a stop has to be. So that's one set of criteria. And the profit you get out on the other side is a different criteria. It's not risk reward. It's trade management. That's what I believe in. But if you are looking for R&R, it comes down to respect and realism. They're the two R&Rs I deal with. Now, you have to respect the chart, you know, and that means the amount of money that's involved. Doesn't matter if it's a quid. A pound is a pound. Treat it with the same respect as £1,000. And then you'll learn how to trade. If you just think, it's a quid, I don't care, you'll never care, okay? And then you have to be realistic with your expectation. If a pound is a pound and you get 20 pence back, that is amazing. That is absolutely outstanding. It's realistic. So you've got to be aware of that as well. Let's just break this down a second. So out of the closed positions, now this did start on November the 28th, so we're only really classing it as December. So it's this running month because there was nothing closed in November. We have a closed win rate of 41%, which I need to sort of work on, and over the period it will work. Now, of them closed, it's given me a growth in the last 17 days of 3.9%. There isn't a bank in the land will give me that. So that money's banked. That's already in the bag, okay? And that includes some of the losses that have been incurred from these closed trades. Because as you can see, we lost some money here, lost some money there, we lost some money there. That's all encompassing of that. And we're still just shy of 4% up. Now our running profit is here, running at 6.9. So what we're doing is we're filling the petrol tank. So if they do lose, well, it's already accounted for. And why is it accounted for? Because of this section here, and I'll get into that in a second. Now, I also cap my bids. You know, nothing can be more than £1. Okay, that's it. That's my sort of criteria. So there's no position there greater than £1. Now, I don't mind adding into it a little bit, and I need to work on that somewhat. Because Angus, I put the third one in just because it looked pretty good, but really I shouldn't. Okay, so I've got to be a little bit wary of that as well. Okay, but I'm also caught on the minimum bid value. So again, I need to work on that personally because I've actually broke one of my rules, and that's wrong, you know. And if it slaps me, I'll make a note of it in my journal that I broke my rule at this time, why I did it, and what the consequences are. Because I focus on the losses rather than the wins. I don't give a shit about the wins. I really don't, you know. But my losses is what makes me better. It also has a little compounder in there, so it can work its way up. Now, the average hold of each share is around 7.1 days. I haven't taken any earnings out of it. We've got 26 positions in total. That's opened up with an average size of 71p, which makes me comfortable because I'm below the bid size, okay? Now, the running win rate is 30%. That needs to be better, must be better. So I'm going to monitor that this week. And then out of the 26, 8 of them have been profitable. Okay? So that's what that is. But then I look at this section as well. I don't want to give my money away. So I carve. You see this when I'm day trading. So there's elements of my day trading within this. Now, this is all done with a strategy called the river that I use, which is a trend following strategy. And I am only buying shares. I'm not selling any of them. I'm only looking to buy. All right. And I look for low value shares that have an opportunity to rise over the given period of time. But every time it gets to a checkpoint, in other words, a barrier that could reverse the price, I take 10% of the trade off and leave the rest to run. Now, it's a minimum of 10p. If you divided £1 by 10, that would be 10 pence. And this works out how much your carving point can be. So I'm allowed to take 10% off, or a 10 pence position off, and then whatever the profit is at that time. Now, sometimes it's only a little bit, like 9 pence. But down here, where it was running away, it was £1. Let me put my head back to the top so I can show you, and move this up a bit. It was £1.07, 145. So this one is running away, and it's clearing off the losses. And if I look at this, okay, it's currently already gave me 9.53 in the pot. It's got a good amount of money still running. It's added 8% on its own to the main account balance. And I've already got 67% of the investment, which was £14 at the time, back. Now that £14 was the stop out point. It's how much I put on the table for it. Okay. And I've got 67% of that back. Now, if I close this off, I get my margin back, and it's also giving me 67%. Brilliant. And if we look at the one above it, well, this one has already paid 100% of what was put on the table back, and it's giving me an extra 80%. So you've got to keep close eye on your return on investment as well. Up here, we've got one that gave 124 back. These ones here, if they are profitable, you automatically get your margin, your sort of investment back. It's the way I look. It's the way I work. So why am I doing this? Well, it's very, very simple. It comes back to how do you build up from a small account? Now, there is an event in London, which is Traders Day Live. It's one of the largest expos in Europe for Forex and trading. And I am a guest speaker there. And my subject is building small accounts. I'm going to show you how to do it. That's building small accounts in the background, because I've done it many times. And how do you know? Well, here's some of my stats. Now, they're stats from the prop firm. And why? Because I like to challenge myself, you know, and sometimes I like to speak from experience when I'm talking to the guys in the Discord. So I will put my head on the block and I will go through the prop, do it, what profit I get. We then have a scruffy meet, so I recycle the profits back to the guys. And here we are, we've had a jolly time. That's what we do, you know, because every time I have one of them meetings, it's £1,000 every single time, wherever it is. I get no change out of £1,000. So you tell me someone that will do that for that group. Well, there's not many. You know, why do I do it? Because I genuinely want those guys to succeed. They have to. Why? Because it makes me better. But I can't talk to them unless I've done it. That's what this is all about. And secondary to that, I've also got a lot of time for the 5%ers, and I wanted to show a way that if you have little money, you can build up in the background a pot So this here, so you start small, build up, you get your little pot of money. You can then use that money to buy into, say, the boot camp if you like Forex, or if you've got an affinity and you like shares, you can buy into trade the pool and then carry on your share journey, but with the backing of a prop. But the whole premise is to build it from a very small account. And that's what I'm doing. Now I'm going to keep this running. I'll run it for about 6 months. And if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below or go in the description and you'll find all of my contact details there, my WhatsApps, my emails, that sort of thing. And if you're stuck, do reach out. I will try and help you. I genuinely will. Can't always give you the right answer, but I can maybe point you in the right direction. And if you want to see exactly how I trade and exactly how I day trade, come along to the Scruffy Squad. We'll make you most welcome. And within that community, you'll find trade management, strategies, you name it. But more importantly, you'll find a community of like-minded people that will always have your back. It's quite a rarity in this industry, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of everybody that's in there. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed. Above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.